Hi everybody, welcome back. My name is Trini, and this is my cat Gracie, and my channel is That Girl Trini, where I talk about different things, I try different fun foods, and I also have cattails in my video. So I'm going to start a segment series type thing to go through talking about anxiety and me being introduced to benzos, because in my first video, as I was painting my rock, I told everyone that I have an anxiety disorder, and I'm also tapering off of benzos actively right now to get off of them because I've been on them 20 plus years. And today I have questions wrote out that are my most common questions that I'm asked by my family, my friends throughout my lifetime, doctors, counselors, all of that stuff. And I thought that I could share those with you. You could get a little bit more of an insight on who I am and why I'm doing this channel and why I'm going through what I'm going through and why I hope to be able to help someone in the things that I do on my channel. And I thought with this series, why not wear my anxiety shirt that I unboxed yesterday. I love this shirt, and I feel like it'll be a really good thing in the next few videos that I do. I don't want to put it all on one video. It could get very lengthy. I'm not quite sure exactly how long it's going to take. I have, a few different questions, but sometimes there's a lot of details to the answers. So I want to get started, and the segment that I'm going to do right now is when my anxiety started. So the first question that I always get asked is, when did your anxiety first start? And that's a good question, because now I can tell someone when it started. But in the beginning, when I first was being actually diagnosed and stuff like that, I didn't really have an idea of when it started because I still didn't know what it was about. And so for me, when my anxiety started, like the most where it was noticeable, I had a few when I was in about 19 years old, a few different times. And then when it really hit hard enough to where I went to the hospital thinking I was dying was in 1998. My mother had passed away, and I didn't know what to do. I was 21 years old, and my mother worked at a fireworks place, and she was killed because the building blew up. So that was a big, huge shock and trauma for a 21-year-old girl to go through in her life. I mean, any age. It doesn't matter what age I was or whatever. It still was a trauma that I went through. So I started having I couldn't breathe. I was throwing up food and everything else. And I just thought I was going through grief and going through all those different things. And I don't think that I knew exactly what anxiety was. So why was it prescribed to me? Well, obviously I figured out when I went to the new place and I got to be seen by the same doctor that my father saw. He said, you have a panic disorder, and he kind of explained to me what it was and everything else. And still at that age, I was in my mid-20s, almost 30, I still didn't really know exactly what it meant. And it was still kind of taboo to an extent of where people didn't talk about mental health like they do now. And so I was like, okay, and he reinstated me to be on Klonopin 1 milligram 3 times a day. And for me, I was like, okay, because I figured works, you know, it works. And that was the only thing I was on. I didn't have any luck with antidepressants and things like that. So I thought, oh, well, this is my treatment. And then the other questions that I get asked is, did it help at first? Yes, absolutely, it helped at first. It made me feel calm. I was able to work. If I felt anxious, I would take it. You know, it was a pretty much as needed type of thing, but then it started to just be like a 3 times a day thing. And so I just was taking it 3 times a day because I felt like I was like chasing that calm feeling. And I didn't realize that how addictive any of those medications were or anything. Like I said, I've been told time and time again that this was just my treatment. Nobody sat down and explained anything about addiction and about any of the other things that come with taking them for so long. So when did I realize I had to stay on it for a long time? I've been asked that a lot from different people. And that's when my doctor told me. The doctor that I had for I don't know how many years. I have a different doctor now. But he just told me that was probably going to be the rest of my life. So just get used to it. So I continued to take them. And every few years I would go through these times where my anxiety got extremely bad and things started getting crazy, which the next set of questions that I always get asked, that's the ones that I'm going to go into now. So when did I notice that my medication stopped working the same? And I will have to say that it probably took less than a year, but in my mind it worked until it didn't, and then it was just this rebound anxiety feeling that I can't even describe. That it was my anxiety times a million, and I felt sick. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I was on edge, nothing helped. And my doctor said, oh, you know, it's just not working, let's raise it. And that happened probably 4 times, like every 3 to 5 years. And for me, I didn't know anything. Like I said, it happened in the early 2000s into the 2010s and stuff like that, where the internet was just getting, its start and everything else. So what made me realize what I was going through was tolerance. And I'm going to be honest, is it took me until about 2020, I think, before I actually went to my doctor and said, this was what I think is happening. And he told me that that's not possible. So did I realize what benzo tolerance was? Yes, eventually I did. And that is what I was experiencing every 3 years, sometimes every 2 years, and it would last for 6 months to a year, that I would couch rot. I wouldn't do anything. I would become agoraphobic when I'm not agoraphobic. I've never been agoraphobic, but when I go through those things, I am. And going through all of that has been just terrible. It's just one of those things that extremely hard on you, on your children, on your relationships with your family and your significant others and stuff like that. So I really was going through a tough time with that. And so that's when I decided that I was going to advocate for myself a lot more in 2021. But I'm going to stop there, and I will get into my tapering journey and what my life is like now and what I'm doing now and what my plans are for the future. And hopefully you guys will come back, sit back, grab some hot cocoa, or if you're in a warmer state, some coffee, iced tea, whatever, and we'll have another story time. And I hope that this has helped somebody out there that might be struggling and going through things, just to let you know that you're not alone and that it is okay to not feel okay. And hopefully when I get done telling my story, that it can reach out to someone out there that may need help. And I'm not a doctor by any means, but I can be there as a person to be able to just be a supportive person to talk to and help you get through whatever it is that's bothering you. So I hope you enjoyed today. Please stay tuned for the next segment that I'm going to do on the tapering and what my life is like now and what my life will be in the future. But as always, if you like it, like the video and tell a friend if you don't like the video, for someone that you know, and subscribe. And I will catch you on the next video. Bye-bye now.